Hi, I'm Peter Strohkorb. I'm an international sales specialist specializing in B2B services and SaaS businesses in North America and in Australia, as you can hear from my accent, and focused on buyer-focused selling. What that means is that we no longer look at what we're selling and how we want to sell it. We're looking at how our buyers want to buy and how we can help them to buy from us. And you can learn from me as well. So today's topic is the 3 effective ways to engage with senior executive buyers. The 3 effective ways to engage with senior executive buyers. So let's get straight into it. We know that it's difficult to engage senior executive buyers because they get a lot of outreaches coming their way, cold calls, spam emails, LinkedIn pitch slapping, all that sort of stuff. And they're kind of immune to your outreaches, which is why I make a distinction between reaching out to somebody and engaging them, meaning drawing them into a business conversation. So if you want to have a business conversation with a senior executive buyer, then you need to talk about business, not about your products or services. So we need to talk about not so much about the features, specs, and price of your products and services. We need to talk about the outcomes that they deliver for your buyers. And in a previous post, I've also talked about selling the benefits of the benefits. So the outcomes that you get from the outcomes. But that's another subject that we can talk about another time. Get in touch if you'd like to know more. So 3 ways to engage your senior executive buyers effectively. Now, put yourself in the shoes of a senior executive buyer. We're talking like a C-suite person, a general manager, managing director, CEO, anything that starts with a C, really. What are they thinking? What does life look like from their perspective? Well, they've got a boss or bosses. If they're a CEO, they have a board that they report to. If they're a CFO, CIO, CMO, then they usually report to the CEO. And so everybody's got a boss that they need to please. Everybody has KPIs and metrics that they need to live up to. So a senior executive buyer is slightly different to mid-level managers. So insofar as they care about 2 or 3 things primarily. One is achieving their objectives so that they get paid, they get their bonus, they get their shares, they get their equity, whatever it is, options. 2, they're really concerned with preserving their professional reputation. Why? Well, because they want to climb up the career ladder, and they're always looking out for the next job where the grass might be greener. So they don't want to earn a reputation for something that they wouldn't be proud of, put it this way. So achieving their objectives, getting a great reputation, and of course having some sort of a semblance of a work-life balance would be good. But primarily, they want to be seen as somebody who's left a legacy, somebody who's made a difference, somebody who can point to something that they've achieved in the organization that people will remember them for. Something good, obviously. So if you want to engage with, not just approach, but engage with a senior executive buyer, you got to play into any one of those 3 desirable outcomes for them. So either you help them to achieve their objectives, you help them to look good, and you help them to create a legacy that people will remember them for. So what are the 3 ways that you can do that? Number 1, you point out a business opportunity that they didn't know they had. So if you can help them to see a new opportunity where they can achieve their KPIs, look good to their boss, raise their profile, their personal brand, then they would be interested. 2, you point out a risk to them, a risk that they did not know they were facing. Some exposure that they were blindsided by. So if you can point out something that helps them to avoid making a mistake and looking bad in the process, then you'd be doing them a favor and they would be interested in having a chat to you. So a business conversation. Oh, did you know that people like you in your situation, they often are exposed to this risk and they didn't know it existed? So we have helped other customers to avoid that exposure. Easy, right? The problem with those 2 approaches is that you need to do your homework. You need to know the industry, you need to know the organization, and you need to almost know more about the business than the executive you're talking to themselves knows about the business, which is hard to do, which means you've got to do your homework, you've got to do your research, and you've got to find the thing that either they didn't know, or the risk that they didn't know that they were exposed to. But it's very, very effective if you can take the time to do your research and engage them in the right way. The third way is much easier, much more scalable, and takes much less time to implement. And that is, you help them to discover that they have a need for the thing that you're selling. Again, you help them to discover for themselves that they have a need for the thing, product, service, solution that you're selling. Why? Because they all have an ego. And they don't want to be told that they're doing something wrong. They don't want to be told that there's a better way. They don't want to be told anything, really. They want to be the people telling, not being told. So what you do is you got to help them to discover that they have a need for the thing that you're selling, and you let it be their idea that they need it. How do you do that? Well, again, you lead with thought leadership, with insights, with information, but more in a generalist context. And you guide them slowly, but effectively towards self-discovery, towards the discovery that they have a need for the thing that you're selling. And ideally, that would be through maybe some sort of thought leadership piece that then leads to some sort of assessment, some sort of checklist, some sort of test, where they can discover for themselves, I actually am interested now because I've just discovered that we do have a need for the thing that these people are selling. So you need to, either way, not just reach out in large numbers to a large number of executives, hoping that a small number of them will happen to be just in the market to buy the thing that you're selling. I mean, that's spray and pray selling. That's so last decade that it's ridiculous, right? We don't sell that way anymore. No, you need to engage them on an individual basis, which means you have fewer prospects to deal with, but you will do a better job with them. So you need to be super selective about the prospects that you're engaging, because you want to improve your chances of success, of course. But once you've decided who you're going to target, you've got to find out why you would target them and what you could target them with that makes them lean forward and say, oh, wow, that sounds interesting. Tell me more about that. That's what you want. You want to create what I call a lean forward moment, meaning something where they physically lean forward and say, tell me more, because you've got them. You've got them hooked, you've got them curious, you've got them engaged. And that's what we want. We want engagement. So you need to do your research. And you need to ask the right kind of questions of yourself and of your CRM, and maybe employ AI to do some research for you. But you need to do your research. And once you've done the research, then you need to work out what to lead with. What's the hook that you can catch them with? What's the thing that you can get them to lean forward on and find that engagement point? Now, at Peter Strohkorb, at Sales Advisory, we help our clients to find that point, that engagement process, by being more selective, by being more targeted, and by being more specific about their pain points and their situation, their desires, their wishes, or on the other hand, their fear of failure and fear of doing something wrong and fear of damaging their personal brand. So if you want to know more, then reach out to me on my website at peterstrohkorb.com. It's up there in the background. Reach out to me personally and we can have a chat about how you can achieve that in your business as well. So I'm Peter Strohkorb. I'm the CEO of Peter Strohkorb Sales Advisory. Come and talk to me. Thank you.